Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Today we got the entire storyline of God of War. Drop a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'm actually really hyped for this
Whether you're
one.
new to the God of War franchise, drawn in by many near-perfect reviews for its latest installment, or a day one fan of the long-running
This was my first God of War game. One if you played the first one, two if you never played it.
PlayStation franchise, you know that outside of all the epic battles against mythic monsters and deities, the series has consistently put one thing front and center in the story of the Spartan demigod Kratos' vengeance against the gods that have wronged him. Family. Well, that and violence. There's a lot of violence. Hi, I'm Jet Set with the Leaderboard, and we're taking a look.
Who cares about family more? Is it Fast and Furious, or is my boy Kratos?
At the story of Kratos and his path from hyper-violent warrior haunted by the deaths of pretty much every single member of his family to hardened but protective father. He's still pretty violent, but also kind of the world's greatest dad. Come boy, we're getting started.
I feel like the kid actually nerfed him, honestly. The kid nerfed him, honestly.
The early years. In the first installment of God of War and later in God of War Ghosts of Sparta, we learned that Kratos' mother was a human woman named Callisto and his father was Zeus. The day Kratos was born, Zeus's wife Hera ordered that Kratos be killed because she was angry at Zeus for having yet another child outside of their godly wedlock. But Zeus took pity on baby Kratos and spared him. He was left to be raised by his mother amongst the Spartans. Eventually, his mother gave birth to another boy, Deimos. While Kratos and Deimos are still children, Zeus learns of a prophecy stating that he would be—
If I'm not wrong, we're gonna meet Kratos' brother in God of War 3. This is one of the biggest plot twists of the game.
Killed by one of his sons, a marked warrior. He sends Athena and Ares, the original god of war, to find the son destined to kill him. They suspect the son in question to be Deimos due to a visible birthmark over most of his body. Before Deimos is taken away, Kratos tries in vain to protect him and is struck away by Ares, leaving him with a scar over his right eye. In honor of his brother who he believes to be dead, Kratos tattoos himself with red markings mirroring his brother's birthmark. This begins his
That I didn't know though. That I didn't know. Holy shiza.
Long resentment toward the gods. He swears to avenge his brother's death. He works his way from Spartan soldier to Spartan general, expanding an army of 50 Spartan warriors into an army of 1,000. He also marries a woman named Lysandra and fathers a girl named Calliope. The comic—
Yo, how many times Kratos married? Let me know, man. Any of you know, any scientists in chat, let me know. If you get the correct answer, you will get nothing. But I mean, if you know, then why not share the knowledge?
The series God of War Quest for Ambrosia provides a little bit of insight into this time period of Kratos' life, during which a young Calliope contracts a skin disease. According to Spartan law, this means she must be cast out of their society and left for dead because of her weakness. This sets Kratos off on a quest for ambrosia, the food of the gods, which he learns is capable of curing his daughter. Along the way, he becomes Ares' champion in a game that's sort of like one of those dinner for schmucks scenarios.
Bro, there is so much stuff that I don't remember. That is insane, bro. I'm hyped for this, man. And I want to know from you, when did you play the first God of War? If you played that, I played that as a kid, and I was kind of traumatized, and I loved that game a lot, man. Like, seeing Ares for the first time, I was like dead-ass scared when I first saw him, man.
But the rich people are Greek gods, and the schmucks are powerful warriors, battling each other for the prize of, ambrosia. Kratos wins, saving his daughter and proving that he's always kind of been a family man. Though some of his Spartan friends have to tragically die along the way, basically starting a long-running trend where everyone close to Kratos bites the dust. In the coming years, Kratos' thirst for battle only grows stronger, up until his powerful Spartan army meets its match against an army of barbarians. Their captain Ulrich also needed ambrosia to cure his dying father. On the battlefield, Ulrich sees a chance to avenge his father, for whose death Kratos is kinda sorta indirectly responsible for, because he—
And this is where the plot twist comes in. This is where my man asks for help, right? He's gonna be like, yo, Ares, destroy my enemies and my life shall be yours. I believe this is what he said. I don't fully remember, but I kind of remember.
He took the ambrosia Ulrich's father needed. With his inevitable death looming, Kratos makes a last-ditch appeal to Ares, pledging his allegiance to the god of war in exchange for the deaths of Ulrich and the rest of the barbarian army. Ares obliges, and in accepting Kratos as his servant, gifts him with the Blades of Chaos, the first incarnation of his signature weapon, a pair of blades chained to his body, which he uses to kill Ulrich and many, many more after him. The tragic backstory. At first, and we're still in—
Man, those Jigglypuff physics were crazy, man. If they do that today, they will get canceled, bruh.
Flashback territory here, but trust me, it's important. Kratos faithfully serves Ares while still fighting for Sparta alongside the warriors with whom he grew up. However, his life gets turned upside down during what seemed like a routine village raid. Apparently, raiding village—
Kratos was not a good man initially. He was in a way, but then he was not. He was just, nah, you know what I mean? Like destroying everything that comes in his path.
Which is something war-crazed Spartans just tend to do. Mid-raid, an oracle warns Kratos not to enter a particular temple, but blinded by bloodlust, he ignores her warning. Unbeknownst to him, Ares has transported Lysandra and Calliope into the temple. Kratos just up and kills them before realizing what he's done and defining his character development for the rest of video game history. Right then and there,
as a kid seeing that scene, I was like, bruh, I don't care. I don't know what's going on, but I'll still play. That was me as a kid. But the second I saw the face of Ares, I was traumatized.
Kratos renounces Ares, but not before the Oracle colors his skin with the ashes of his dead family, giving it the white, ghostly hue that earns him the nickname Ghost of Sparta. This reputation spreads throughout Greece, and he becomes feared for his transgression marked by his pale skin. The Furies. The PSP game God of War Ascension picks up soon after...
Yeah, it was not a PS3 game. It was not a PSP game. It was a PS3 game.
Kratos' renunciation of Ares, who orders the Furies to
this is where like they had like big bobs and vaganas and stuff like that.
Find and punish Kratos for breaking his oath. We learn that the Furies were created in war as a manifestation of madness and rage, tasked with taking vengeance on any traitor or oathbreaker, which basically means they're just the beings for the job. Kratos learns of Ares' plan from Orcos, son of Ares and Alecto, one of the Furies. Orcos explains that Ares wishes to take control of Mount Olympus from Zeus, but due to a pesky rule forbidding inter-deity violence, Ares decided to groom a warrior powerful enough to do the job for him. This Orcos was initially supposed to be this warrior, but he was perceived to be unworthy early on in his life. He instead pledged loyalty to his mom's side of the family.
I don't know what it was, but I loved the art style, man. And to a certain extent, it reminds me of Harry Potter, the Deathly Hallows. Seeing those three, like, guys behind. You know what I mean, right? Like, how many of you have seen Harry Potter? I'm actually hyped for Hogwarts Legacy, but that's gonna be for another video, right? But you know what I mean, right? The Deathly Hallows. I kind of I feel like they use the essence.
Working as the Oathkeeper for the Furies, Orcos informs Kratos that he is now Ares' hope at overtaking Zeus. Eventually, Kratos is captured by the Furies, but he gradually defeats each of them, overcoming a series of illusions, tricks, and straight-up mano-a-mano beatdowns. But upon returning to Orcos, he finds out that the Furies made Orcos the keeper of Kratos' oath to Ares. Orcos asks for an honorable...
Damn! Yo! For real? For real? For real? I don't remember that. Damn. But I remember his face. I played this game. I remember, but I didn't know the reason behind.
Death that would free them both from Ares, and eventually Kratos acquiesces, killing his ally and continuing the whole everyone who gets close to him dies thing. Breaking his oath also breaks a sort of spell, once masking and now revealing to him the true scope of the horrors he's committed. In confronting his past transgressions full on, he vows to redeem himself through
I'm coming for you, Ares. I'll destroy everything. I'm coming for my vengeance, bruh.
Service to Mount Olympus, deciding for once and only once that his problems can be solved through hard work and not bloodshed. Persephone's plot. God of War Chains of Olympus, also for the PSP, picks up 5 years into Kratos' service to Mount Olympus. Mind you, we're still not at the present time.
I swear to God, man. When I played this game, it looked like real life to me, but these
line for the first God of War game. The franchise creators really liked fleshing out prequel content before Solo: A Star Wars Story was even a note card on a corkboard at Disney. During this time, Kratos notices the sun disappear, which he knows means that Helios, the sun god, has been captured. Morpheus, the god of dreams, quickly uses this opening to put all the gods into a deep sleep. Kratos then sets out on a quest to rescue Helios and save the gods from Morpheus's curse. Kratos descends into the underworld, where mid-quest he's informed by Hades' unwilling wife Persephone that if he wants, he can shed his god-given powers, rendering him pure and capable of entering the Elysium.
Man, she was looking like a snack when I saw her for the first time as a kid. As a kid, man.
Fields, where he'll be reunited with his daughter Calliope. He does so without hesitation, only to learn that Persephone and the Titan Atlas were the ones who kidnapped Helios. The two of them plan to destroy not just the gods, but every...
Ow!
every single being, including themselves, Kratos, and Calliope. Kratos reluctantly leaves and regains his powers, kills Persephone, and rechains Atlas to the Pillar of the World.
Oh my
However,
God.
having continued down...
Yo, we're gonna meet Atlas in God of War 2 if I'm not mistaken. Yo, it's gonna be... Listen, I honestly feel like replaying all the games before Ragnarok, but I just don't have the time. I'm really sad by that, man.
On this path of bloodshed and making himself too tainted to ever visit the Elysian Fields again, he resents the gods even deeper and essentially loses his daughter a second time. Something I don't think he or anyone really knew was possible.
Damn.
The series is...
What? Bro, chill. One sec.
Gods even deeper and essentially loses his daughter a second time. Something I don't think he...
Yo, this is looking like a Thanos hand, right?
Bomboka!
Yo, be honest. Yo, that looks like Thanos, like, bro,
or anyone
what?
really knew
The
was
gauntlet.
possible. The series is beginnings. Here we are, about halfway into this video, finally at the very first God of War game.
Yes.
While the original God of War includes flashbacks,
Seeing this was my first God of War game, and seeing that as a kid, this was something else, man. The hype, I don't know how to describe this, but it was just crazy, man. Like, now you see it, you're like, yeah, whatever. You're still like, okay, something happening, but as a kid, man, damn.
its present timeline begins with Kratos wishing to be freed from his nightmares of past violence, including, most notably, of course, the murder of his wife and daughter. Athena encourages him to find and open Pandora's box, with which he would be imbued with enough power to defeat Ares. Kratos asks Athena if completing this task will free him from his nightmares, and Athena kinda dodges the question, but Kratos sets off to find Pandora's box anyway, still motivated by his desire to defeat the god of war who has wronged him. Kratos locates Pandora's temple on the back of Kronos, the original Titan and father of Zeus, and after overcoming its many...
We're gonna meet Kronos, I believe in God of War 3, but this time maybe for the last time. Get ready for that one,
traps,
buckles.
puzzles, and baddies, he becomes the first human to reach Pandora's box. However, Ares gets wind of this and hurls a huge pillar at Kratos right when he finds the box, killing him. With some help from Zeus in the guise of a gravedigger, Kratos escapes from the underworld, reclaims Pandora's box, and in unleashing all of its horrors into the world, grows much larger in size, giving him an even footing from which to battle Ares. He eventually uses the gargantuan blade of the gods to kill the god of war. Having completed this task, the gods inform him that they've forgiven his past sins, but are incapable of ending his nightmares. Knowing he wouldn't be freed from his curse, Kratos attempts suicide, jumping off the aptly named Suicide Bluffs, but he's saved from death by Athena, who offers to make Kratos the new god of war. Since it's the title of the franchise after all, and death wasn't an option, Kratos accepts, strengthening...
Man, what a game this was. I believe it came out in 2005, maybe earlier. I don't remember that, honestly, but what a game.
His capability for lots
PS2.
and lots of violence. More family drama. The final PSP game, God of War Ghosts of Sparta, begins with Kratos having visions of his mother being held at the Temple of Poseidon in Atlantis.
Okay, so Ghost of Sparta was not before, but right after one? Alright.
Despite warnings from Athena not to go, Kratos sets sail for Atlantis, where he finds his mother Callisto, who he thought was long dead. She tells him two things: that his father, who he doesn't yet know is Zeus, brought her there, and that Deimos, his brother, also thought long dead, is trapped and being tortured in the domain of death, which honestly doesn't sound that much different from dying. Anyway, he's technically still alive. Kratos asks for the identity of his father, but then Callisto turns into a monster, and Kratos is forced to kill her. She thanks Kratos for freeing her, adding a sort of silver lining to the continued...
Damn, man, my boy got he got done absolutely dirty, man.
tragedy that is Kratos' family, and, you know, the fact that he now has had to kill another member of his family. On the way to free Deimos, Kratos learns from Athena that it was she and Ares who took Deimos away as a child, deepening Kratos' hatred for the gods, as every new bit of information he learns tends to do. While he finds and frees Deimos, his brother initially attacks him, angry at Kratos for not being able to save him as a child. However, God of Death Thanatos snatches Deimos mid-bitter reunion. Kratos follows and saves Deimos from death at the Suicide Bluffs where Thanatos has taken him. The brothers finally fight alongside one another against Thanatos. Tragically, Thanatos kills Deimos before Kratos finishes the God of Death off.
I mean, damn, man. For
good. This is maybe the most heightened version of Kratos. He now feels responsible for the deaths of basically his entire family and sees the solution as truly brutal God-on-God violence. God of War 2.
Yo, Yo, this game, Kratos had it all. He had it all. He came from being small to big. You know, sometimes people love making small things big. I know, crazy, right? Like, he was big. He had baddies all around. He was getting constantly dopamine and shiza like that. He had like a little bit of that rum, a little bit of that this and that. You know what I mean? Like, Kratos was crazy, man. God of War 2, man. One of my favorites, man. One of my favorites.
More gods, more war. God of War 2 opens with Kratos' resentment of the gods at an all-time high.
Okay, don't show the baddies. I believe they had like those boobas hanging out. And
he spends his time aiding Sparta in raiding and destroying cities around Greece. This alienates Kratos further and further from the other gods. Eventually, in the city of Rhodes, an eagle appears and zaps Kratos of his large size and some of his godly powers, imbuing them instead into the Colossus of Rhodes, a giant statue in the city. Kratos defeats the powerful statue with the help of the Blade of Olympus provided to him by Zeus. This is a
man, this is insane because that eagle was actually Zeus. Zeus provided him with the blade and he also made him small. And it's apparently his father. Yeah! Like, that's crazy,
different, powerful godly sword than the blade of the gods from earlier. Shortly after, Kratos learns that the eagle was actually Zeus, clearly sending mixed messages, and he demands Kratos' loyalty. Kratos is not in a position to argue, weakened from his fight with the big bad statue. Still, Kratos refuses, and Zeus kills him with the blade. If you're keeping track, Kratos' death count is now 2, though Kratos once again escapes eternal damnation thanks to the help from the Titan Gaia. Kratos learns from Gaia of Zeus' upbringing. Kronos too was told of a prophecy that he would be killed by one of his own children, and ate each of his sons as they were born. Rhea, Zeus's mother, secretly saved Zeus from this fate and put him in the care of Gaia, who raised him until he
Mamas, man, mamas, they be crazy. They always be strong and independent. Strong and gotta save my kids. Listen, man, W mom, but in a way kind of L mom because Zeus kind of was like, bruh. You know, Zeus was not good, but still, W mom. Mama never knew, right? Mama never. How would a mama know, right? Like, mama wanted to just save her child, which I mean, I respect that.
Destroyed most of the Titans, kind of like Zeus did for him. We later find out from Zeus that Kronos too killed his father, Uranus, and Zeus's goal is to finally break this cycle of father-son murders. With Gaia's guidance, Kratos then journeys to the Sisters of Fate, who he's informed can help him travel back.
Bro. Yo, I was traumatized as a kid. I remember seeing this boss
time and obtained the Blade of Olympus that Zeus first used to defeat the Titans, and later, of course, Kratos. This journey introduces lots of key Greek mythological figures like Theseus, Kerberos, and the Golden Fleece. Remember Jason and the Argonauts with the crazy claymation? Yeah, like that. Once Kratos reaches the Sisters of Fate, they inform him that his destiny is not to kill Zeus. This doesn't exactly sit well with the guy who's defining himself at this point by the revenge he plans to take. And this being the game that it is, he fights the Sisters of Fate and wins, eventually traveling back to the exact point at which Zeus betrayed him.
This is where Zeus, my boy, was like, yo, my guy, like, oh my god, like, how is that even happening? How is that even happening? Like, he couldn't, my boy couldn't even compute after that.
Kratos fights Zeus with the Blade of Olympus, which he takes from his own impaled body, but before he can deliver the killing blow, Athena jumps in the way of the blade and takes the hit, finally revealing to Kratos that Zeus is his father. Kratos goes...
This Athena and Kratos CGI was just so phenomenal. It was so like HD to my Sony Pony 2 console player eyes as a kid, and still to this day that CGI was amazing.
Back in time again and enlists the help of the Titans, who he leads in war against the remaining gods on Mount Olympus, turning one man's quest to kill his father into a world-shattering war. God of War 3 picks up shortly after 2 as this god-Titan war is being waged. As Kratos gradually kills the remaining gods, each of their deaths unleashes a tragedy into the world. He takes out Poseidon first, and this covers the whole entire world in a deep sea, which means anyone not on mountains or high enough above the water are toast. So basically, everyone in the world not important to the story are dead at the outset. This guy really hates his dad and won't let the death of most of humanity stand in his way. Then he confronts Zeus.
God of War 3 has to be my favorite because quality was just insane. You know, you were right after, it was right after the plot twist. This was the climax, right, of the trilogy. I still want a God of War game that is set between God of War 2018 and God of War 3, basically right after God of War 3, because I feel like Kratos, it can be a perfect game. We can still have a younger version of Kratos with all the anger, or maybe not, because he kind of technically got rid of Zeus in a way, right? I know, but still, it would have been, it would be amazing.
Zeus alongside Gaia, but the God King blasts both of them away. Kratos asks Gaia for her help while hanging on for dear life, but she informs him that she only ever saw him as a pawn and used him as a way to reach Zeus. Without Gaia's help, Kratos falls into the underworld yet again. Death count 3.
I'm coming for you too, Gaia.
Before all hope is lost, however, the ghost of Athena offers to help Kratos, and in a showing of goodwill, provides him with the Blades of Exile, a new
W Athena.
set of blades resembling his signature weapon of the past. He uses his new blades to fight his way out of the underworld. He reaches and defeats Hades, unleashing a new plague onto the world, and also gaining the power to swim back through the river Styx back to the world of the living. Kratos kills Helios next, which blacks out the sun and truly turns Earth into a hellscape. Under the advice of Athena, Kratos heads up to Mount Olympus to find Pandora's box, because it contains a power he'll need to defeat the gods for good. Kratos then kills Hermes, the demigod Hercules, Kronos, the goddess Hera, the blacksmith god Hephaestus, and has a
Yo, I'm telling you, man. I'm actually on like I'm actually on NoFap, and this almost broke my streak last time when I played. That was like almost like a year plus ago. It almost broke my streak because this, I mean, this scene, I'm telling you, man.
A romantic tryst with Aphrodite for some reason? My dude's life is eventful. This journey takes Kratos to the famous mythical labyrinth, where he rescues Pandora. The plan at first is to kill Pandora, which is the only way he can open her namesake box, but she quickly feels to Kratos like a proxy daughter. Seeing Calliope in her, he decides he no longer wants to kill her. The inverse of pretty much any other time he's weighed whether or not to kill someone. Funnily enough, Pandora wants to embrace her destiny, and in the middle of a battle with Zeus, she sacrifices herself, and Kratos is able to open Pandora's box once again. In a cruel twist of tragic Greek fate, however, the box is empty. Gaia reappears, now vowing to kill both father and son, and Kratos and Zeus continue their battle inside Gaia, next to her heart, where Kratos is able to impale both Zeus and Gaia's heart with the Blade of Olympus. This kills Gaia for good, but merely unleashes Zeus's spirit, which plunges Kratos into a torturous nightmare. But with the help of Pandora, whose spirit lives on within him, I guess, Kratos forgives himself for killing his family, unleashes the power of hope, and kills Zeus with his bare hands.
What a game, man. What a series, bro. What a series, man.
Turns out the power of hope was just what Athena had thought Kratos would find in the box. But he had already obtained the power the first time he opened it. Kratos realizes that means Pandora's life was lost solely as a casualty of Kratos' quest for revenge, serving no greater purpose. Tragedy yet again. Athena orders that Kratos imbue her with the power of hope.
Oh yeah, this was actually wild. I was like, yo, bro, like you were trying to kill Athena, and then my boy's just Uno. He just Unos and just kills himself, bro.
So she can rule over humanity. However, Kratos impales himself with the Blade of Olympus, freeing the power of hope into the world at large instead. Now, Kratos has successfully killed his father, continuing the cycle of patricide, but also saving the world both from the plagues he unleashed onto it and the mad gods. So maybe his grand gesture of violence was sort of justified. We're just about to get to the most
and yeah, this is what I was saying, man. I really want to see a game that is made right after that moment, right after God of War 3.
It's an installment, and that's definitely...
You agree or you disagree?
Where Kratos shows off his parenting skills. But real quick, I want to remind you to enter our weekly account. Follow us on social media. When 2018's new God of War opens, Kratos is living in a remote forest in the land of the Norse gods, having just lost his wife, whose funeral he's preparing alongside his son, Atreus. Kratos is...
And apparently we may meet her in the upcoming Ragnarok, which I'm really hyped for.
His son is probably somewhere between 8 and 12 years old, so some time has passed since Kratos destroyed, then saved the world. The last wish of Faye, Kratos' dead partner, was to have her ashes scattered from the highest peak in the 9 realms, so Kratos and Atreus set off to climb the highest mountain they know of. Just as they're about to leave, however, the god Balder attacks. Kratos fights him off and is able to set out on his journey, but Balder can't really die, so he pops up again from time to time. Soon, Kratos and Atreus meet an unnamed witch, who later turns out to be Freya, who we even...
You guys think, okay, at the moment, let me know, when are you watching this? Are you watching this before playing Ragnarok? Are you watching this after? playing Ragnarok. I feel like that most people will be watching this video after Ragnarok has released, but it depends whether you have played it or not. If you have not played it, do you think that Freya is gonna be good? Because right now we have played 2018, we know she's angry. I feel like that she's not gonna be angry. She's gonna stay angry, but I feel like that she's not gonna kill Kratos. She's gonna turn out to be an ally after that, because that's the vibe I'm getting. Or do you think that she is just not, she's gonna kill Kratos? Or try to, at least, you know what I mean? But if you have played, then you obviously know the answer.
Even later find out is Baldur's mother. The game draws a parallel between the Spartan and the witch, as the paternal Kratos has hidden Atreus' godhood from him, thinking it to be for Atreus' sake, but ultimately just fearing having to tell Atreus of his past. Similarly, Freya made Baldur incapable of being killed against his own wishes, thinking it was in his best interest, when truly she didn't want to lose her son. But before we find out any of that, the father and son team overcome lots of new hardships and even travel to another realm before they're finally able to reach the peak of the mountain, as it's simply named. It's there that they're informed by Mimir that the actual highest peak in all the 9 realms, she did say all 9 realms after all, is in Jotunheim, the realm of the giants, who are to the Norse gods what the Titans were to the Greek gods. But Jotunheim is only accessible through a portal that requires items from a lot of different video game quests to open. At the peak, they meet Mimir, who accompanies Kratos and Atreus as a severed head. Soon, father and son are attacked.
I felt like that the game initially was a little bit bland, but the second they introduced Mimir, the conversation between you and Mimir, it was absolutely insane. Like, I really enjoyed that, and that added a lot more character, a lot more story in the game, and just a meaning behind. And I feel like that character introduction was really, really good. I still, like, 2018 is a masterpiece, right? Like, I love all the God of War games, but I have to actually say that God of War, the original trilogy, has to be my favorite. Not because of nostalgia. Nostalgia is only one factor, but because of like several different things, like the action, the anger, the rage. Because 2018, it's more like realistic, and I appreciate that. Like, they made it a lot more realistic, but the original trilogy was just like batshit crazy. It was just unrealistic in a lot of aspects, which that's the main reason why I love that a lot. Doesn't mean that I hate this. I love this equally as well, but the original trilogy has to be my favorite. Let me know your thoughts.
Hacked by Magni and Modi, godsons of Thor. Kratos kills Magni while Modi gets away. Soon after, Atreus becomes ill from the disparity in knowledge, thinking himself a mortal when he's really, a god. I guess that can make you sick? Why not? After Atreus is healed, Freya urges Kratos to tell Atreus of his godhood, and he does. This leads to possibly the clearest moment indicating that Kratos has changed. Whether over the 10...
I have a feeling that Kratos will be catching feelings for Freya in Ragnarok, man. I have a feeling, man. I have a feeling.
Or so years since the last game, or during his journey with his son. The two encountered a weakened Modi, and Atreus, arrogant after learning of his godhood, kills the weakened god. Kratos erupts with anger, teaching Atreus that he was already defeated and his death was unnecessary. This is a far, far cry from the ghost of Sparta of the past, who would bask in the opportunity to kill a god who threatened him and his son.
Like father, like son, man.
Soon after, Kratos and Atreus face Baldur once again, this time protected by a Freya wanting nothing less than to see her son defeated. As the battle comes to a conclusion, it looks like Kratos has fallen into his old ways. He has his hands around Baldur's neck, but Atreus reminds him of his own lesson, and Kratos lets Baldur decide his own fate. This fate turns out to be killing Freya, and Kratos decides that means death. Apparently, a significant lesson in not killing isn't as big a deal as stopping.
Yeah, I genuinely feel like that Kratos is gonna be catching feelings big time for Freya. Big time.
A child from killing their parent on a quest for vengeance.
Or maybe not, because Kratos is like a loyal, he is already married, wife passed away, right? So, I mean, you know what I mean, right? Like, yeah, I think Kratos is strong. I think
he knows all too well. The game ends with Kratos and Atreus spreading Faye's ashes from the tallest mountain in Jotunheim, both having grown during their journey. Kratos has learned to trust Atreus, and rather than
learning and growing,
hide from hardships, deal with them. And Atreus has learned that underneath Kratos' cold, hard exterior is a warm, caring man. Aww. Who would have thought?
Bruh. Yo, what was What was that moon all about, man? Okay, understandable. Wow.
A warrior so in love with the sight of the blood of his enemies, who ended up becoming the literal god of war, would eventually be a good dad. Probably not anyone who's only played the first God of War game, but now that the latest entry in the series is out, plus a bunch of sequels that really drive home the importance of Kratos' family, it feels right. And like
family. And ladies and gentlemen, there is a man that actually got angry on the likes of Kratos. How Kratos used to get angry, he got angry on God of War. Click on this video on the screen and I'll see you right there. It is hilarious, it's wild. I better see you there, okay? Subscribe and I'll see you right there. Peace out.